Happy Earth Day! Woohoo! It is Wednesday, April 22nd, so it's officially Earth Day. This is our third story about Earth Day, and it's specifically about saving water and energy. So there are some different little chapters. It's kind of cute with the drawings and the characters. I really like them a lot, and it's kind of set up a little bit differently, so I hope you enjoy it. Save it! People you live with probably tell you not to waste. If everyone started saving instead of wasting, it could make a big difference. Shut the door. You're letting out heat. Switch off the light. Turn off the water, the tap. Do not leave appliances such as the TV on if you're not watching it. What should we be saving? Well, water is one thing we should work on saving. We need water to live. We should use less fuel to drive cars and heat our houses. Fuels such as oil, gas, and coal are often used to make electricity. When we use less electricity, we use less of these resources. Trees take many years to grow. When the trees in a forest are cut down, it's going to take many years for new trees to grow. So why should we worry about waste? Well, Earth is running out of oil and forests are being destroyed. This is because we use 3 times more energy than we did 100 years ago. It's a lot. Will small changes like switching off your lights make a difference? Yes, of course, small changes do make a difference. If everyone on Earth cared about saving resources, it would help. We need to find ways to protect Earth's resources before they run out. And then it said a word wizard. Resources are things that we just get naturally from the Earth, like water, timber, metals, coal, oil, and gas. Precious water. People and all living things need water to live. We also have to use water to wash ourselves, clean our clothes, dishes, houses, and our cars. So what else do you use water for? Well, we use a lot of water to grow crops. It takes 264 gallons or 1,000 liters of water to grow just 2 pounds of wheat. So a little tiny wheat that's made to make your bread that you might eat sandwiches on, it just took 264 gallons of water to make 2 pounds of wheat. So where does water come from? Well, Earth has a lot of water, but most of it, unfortunately, is salt water from the oceans, which we can't drink. So a lot of our water is actually ice. Only a small amount of Earth's water can even be used by people. And here's a girl carrying water. So do you have tap water? Many parts of the world, people don't have running water in their homes. Tap water means I can go to the faucet and turn it on. Another word for the faucet is tap. So that means I can go to the faucet, turn on the water. Some people don't have that. They actually have to walk, like this girl, to the river or to a well and get the water. Then they have to filter it and pipe it into their homes. So some people can only walk, get water. Other people, the water is in a reservoir and they have to filter it by themselves to make it clean water and then pipe it into their homes. We're lucky we just get to turn on the tap water. 1 in 4 people on Earth don't have enough clean water to drink. We're very lucky in the United States because we usually have plenty of water in most areas in the United States. However, people in the world that aren't living near us don't have that situation. So when we're using some of Earth's water and we're leaving it on and we're just letting it run, it's not helping the Earth because those people already don't have enough water and we're kind of wasting it. So saving water is easy. Just turn off that faucet. Turn off the taps. Don't let it drip. Take your shower sometimes instead of a bath so you don't use as much water. If you're waiting for hot water to come out, like you have to turn it on and you're letting it run to get warm, use the water that's not warm to do things like water your plants. So then you're using that water. So making sure that you're just finding a way to use the water. Energy makes things work or happen. We need energy to start a car or turn on a computer. We get energy by burning fuel, like wood, plant materials, or even garbage. We dig up coal, gas, and oil from under the ground. In many power stations, the heat from fuels is used to turn water into steam. This makes turbines spin and makes electricity. So this is actually a power plant. This one's coal fired, and you can actually turn the water into steam. We burn wood to make energy with heat. You might burn wood during the winter at your house. It makes smoke, and the smoke makes pollution. So it's hard, but it's a lot cheaper sometimes than having oil to burn at your house too. We use up Earth's resources when we burn fuel. If we use less fuel, we can help save these resources. Some fuels make gas that pollute the air. Nuclear fuel makes radiation that is very dangerous to people. And nuclear fuel are things like uranium and other metals that are changed to make heat. And when we change that type of metal, they can be pretty dangerous. How does electricity reach your home? Electricity usually comes through your home through some type of a cable or wire. The cables are usually hung on poles, so look outside your house, or they might be run underground. Smaller wires in your house carry the electricity to your television and other appliances. So then you'll find an outlet, which is where we plug in to get a lot of electricity. When we burn wood or coal, its energy is used up. Other types of energy can be used again and again. These types of energy are renewable. We can use natural heat from deep inside the earth to make electricity. Remember how that magma is so hot inside the earth? We can use some of that deep down in heat to make electricity in power stations. This is called geothermal power. It's power we can use again. So the center of the earth we know is boiling hot. It is so hot that it can melt rocks. Geothermal power stations turn all of that heat, like it is right now, into electricity. You can also use water. This is rushing water from a river or waterfall. Can be used to turn turbines. The spinning turbines are going to make electricity. This is hydroelectricity. Hydro is water. And what is wave power? So waves happen when wind pushes the water. Waves are full of energy, and special machines collect this energy and actually can use it to spin turbines to create electricity. So can we use oceans to make electricity? The tides and the currents of the oceans can be used to make turbines. So we can actually use those waves from the oceans to actually make electricity, which is also very cool. Here's more of our windmills. Making wind power. In the old days, windmills did the work. They pumped water and ground grain. Today, we use them as turbines to make electricity. Wind turbines are set up in large areas called wind farms. And if you drive by one out west, this is all that's in the field. So it's like a farm. Instead of growing crops in the ground, they have these wind turbines that are all just so far apart that they have to be, but there's just tons of them in the whole field. Small wind turbines can make enough electricity for one house. Usually there's a whole wind farm because it's making electricity for a lot of places. It says their speed is usually 6 to 56 miles per hour. That's how fast they can spin. How can we use the sun power? We know that from those solar powered panels. We can use the sun's energy to give off heat. So we have a lot of solar powered panels, and here they are. We've talked a lot about those before. Collecting the sun's rays and turning it into energy. So why is solar power energy cleaner? Well, when we burn that oil and coal, we know that it makes pollution in the air. When we use things like the sun, there's no pollution coming out of these things like the solar panels or the wind turbines. They're not making any pollution. There's nothing coming out. So can we save energy at home? When it's cold, dress warm. Put on lots of layers. Put insulation in your house, making sure that your walls are insulated. Double or 2 walls can help make your house extra warm. Your windows could have 2 layers of glass instead of 1. That would also help. The attic often has insulation that stops the heat from getting out of your house. So that's a good one. And also you could always do some energy saving light bulbs like this one because it uses less electricity and they last longer. And keeping your house cool. If it's really hot weather and you need to cool down, air conditioners use a lot of electricity, so use a fan when you can. Unfortunately, the best way is to just open your windows. So that's perfect. But when it's too hot, we have to use our air conditioner. And then if it's not too hot, we can always use a fan, less electricity. And then when it cools down, especially at night, you can always pop open the window. And that makes that a little bit better. Some things you can do inside your home. Stay cozy in your bed, even if you are feeling cold. You don't need the heat overnight. So put an extra blanket on your bed and insulate yourself. In the bathroom, try not to leave the water running. So only use the water that you need. So if you're brushing your teeth, turn the water off while you're brushing. And just use the water to rinse your brush. Use less water in your bath by taking a shower sometimes to use a little less water. Washing your clothes. Some washing machines have a special setting that uses a little bit less water. You could wash some clothes by hand. That's a lot of work, and then hang them up to dry, but you could do it. You can also save electricity. Turn things off when you're done watching the TV or done with a device or anything that uses electricity from an outlet. Make sure that you turn it off so you're not just wasting it. And then, like I mentioned yesterday, some of these are a little hard for us to do, but you can do things like riding your bike because cars take up more fuel. You can do things like carpooling, riding with friends, walking, things like that, taking a bus or train when you can, if you go visit somewhere that has these types of transportation. This is actually a high-speed train called the bullet train in Japan, which people use all the time. It's very cool looking and it's quick. So you need to make sure if you're in a city that you use some of those transportations. It's better and it's faster than using a car and getting stuck in traffic. And we've talked about recycling. Make sure that you're recycling. What kind of things can you recycle? Your glass, your plastic, wood, paper, any type of things that you can, aluminum cans, anything that you can recycle. Make sure that you recycle. Also doing things by gardening. If you have a garden, you can recycle your vegetable scraps, throw them in. Composting. We did some composting last year with D-Acres. And make sure you recycle water if you can. So use bath water to water your plants. Let the water cool a little bit and then you can use it to do things like your plants. Or make sure the buckets have lids so the animals don't fall in. That's a good idea. You can collect rainwater outside, those kind of things. And use that rainwater to plant your plants. There are things that are happening because our earth is changing so much. So this is a dried up river. It's really sad. That used to be a nice river and it has now dried up. These are things called global warming. It's how things are changing because of the smoke and the fumes from the factories and the cars. We're polluting our earth and it's changing the gases in our earth. And the temperature is changing of our earth. So things like rivers are being dried up, which is really sad. So we need to make sure that we're saving clean water. We're planting new plants. Try to eat things fresh from your garden or fresh from someone else's garden. So making sure that you are eating food that is grown close by so that trucks didn't have to drive across the whole United States polluting in order to get here. If you can. Of course, we also have to buy things at the grocery store. And what else can you do? Follow the tips in this book. And that is the end. I hope you have a happy Earth Day and find some ways today maybe to look around your house and save some electricity. Put a can out for rainwater to start watering your plants, or maybe you want to go outside and start seeds even inside to start planting. Maybe you're just going to be conscious of when you leave a room, turn off the lights, and when you're done the TV that you actually turn it off and not just walk away. Have a great day. I know you can be good Earth Day citizens, so you got this. Bye.